So from Alabama now to New York and the scene surrounding Donald Trump's latest court appearance. The former president attending the closing arguments of the civil fraud case against him and his sons, his organization, really. The judge allowing the former president to speak briefly if he kept it to the case. He didn't. And Donald Trump instead went on the attack, calling himself an innocent man being prosecuted. Here was the former president at one point before the cameras.
I want to go to all of my trials. These are all set up by Biden and the Democrats. This is their new form of cheating.
Now, prosecutors are asking for $370 million in damages for the Trump organizations and for the Trump organization's business licenses to be revoked. Jesse Weber, NewsNation legal contributor, come on in. And I'm digging into my inbox here because headline, the judge in the case is going to issue a final decision on January 31st. What's today? The 11th, so 20 days from now. So we'll know what the decision here is in 3 weeks, I guess. But tell me what happened inside that courtroom today and why it may or may not be significant.
So first of all, that's sooner than I thought. I thought he was going to issue it in February. Before I even start, go blue. I haven't been on since the University of Michigan as a Victor, as a
hail, my man, hail.
Most important thing. Okay, so today was very, very interesting for a number of different reasons. Look, I went into this thinking the judge has already made up his mind. He's probably going to go throw the book at Donald Trump, a $370 million fine, probably ban him from New York real estate for the rest of his life. But I'm listening to the judge's questions. And what the judge did very carefully here was to actually challenge the attorney general's team, as well as Trump's team, clearly, but the attorney general's team. And specifically, he seems skeptical about whether Trump's sons really knew about this fraud. And there were questions that he raised about, how do you know this person read this email? How do you know they knew this was fraud? And I thought that was really interesting. I will tell you.
So let me ask you. So let me ask you: Is it a bad or flawed case, or is it good lawyering from Trump's team?
Good lawyering from Trump's team, but I think more of what it is, and this is what we've seen from Judge Engoron, is to make sure to preserve this case for appeal. What he doesn't want is an appellate court to say he was totally biased and unfair against Donald Trump. That is why during the course of this trial, he allowed Donald Trump's team to present evidence, which I will tell you seems irrelevant when the judge has already said there was fraud here. He allowed Trump a lot of leeway to say that there wasn't fraud when he already decided that issue, because he doesn't want to be reversed on appeal. Now, I think that was really interesting. I still think Trump is going to lose this case. I think he's going to be hit with a massive penalty. The question, of course, is will he ever be able to do business in New York City again? Will he ever be able to be a part of the real estate company again? That's going to be something we'll wait and see.
Jesse Weber, NewsNation legal contributor. Jesse, thank you. We'll talk soon, I have no doubt. Jesse, thanks. All right, so this decision coming January 30th, 20 days, 31st, 20 days from now, Jesse says earlier than he thought. What does what does it mean for Donald Trump between now and then?
You know, the polling on this is actually really interesting. The majority of Americans, thin majority, but still, think Trump is guilty of these various charges. However, about half of them think it's politically motivated in this particular case. So Americans are parsing those two things. I don't think, you know, the pro-Letitia James protesters in New York with the signs saying "Save Democracy" help with the politicization issue. But Americans look at Trump. They know this is not relatable things. They know that, you know, it's not just luck that he has 91 felony counts. That's not something people can relate to, and it's not a positive for him.
Okay, Ashley, so...
he doesn't need to buy political ads because this is good PR for his base.
How so?
Well, especially this case, which I think is a little bit different than the January 6th cases because this is more personal towards his business and his kids. But I just think because he politicizes the court system and says how, you know, which I think is not a good thing because I think it undermines our court system in this country and democracy. But I think that people believe that he's an unfair target in this case alone, is what I'm speaking of.
I think one of the problems with him is he's going to alienate independents and Republicans who are just tired of it. He sounds like a crazy guy on the corner ranting. And at a certain point, I think Republicans, with the indictments, with everything that's going on, he needs 2 or 3% of Republicans to come home that didn't come home last time. And it just, I think once we get closer to Election Day and things tighten up, okay, so a lot of people get sick of this.
So you mentioned. Thank you for watching. And make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below. to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.